Welcome back to another edition of the Gabagools Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff. This is episode 67, and with me, as always, the co-host, Dan. How we feeling?
Tell you what, feeling hot. Hot as a mother effer. Okay, it is what we normally like to do, right? If you've been watching these podcasts, we like to give you a little weekend, not a weekend update, but a weather update, right?
Sometimes
And
both.
sometimes both. And usually with the weather, right? I like to let you know if it's too hot, if it's too cold, or if it's just right in the middle, right? With the three bears or the whatever that story is. Today, stay inside. Don't go outside. I don't know why you'd want to be out there. If you work on Mondays, hey, tell your boss you can't make it in today. Rough out there, brutal.
You know, I went outside earlier, and maybe it's because I have a nice tree cover. It was actually quite nice. I mean, I went to the
Oh
park
man,
earlier, but yeah, it was a little warm at the park, but not the worst I've been in. But yeah, I guess just when we talk about the weather, we have to talk about this past weekend too. So obviously, I was at Beer Fest on Saturday with a couple of friends of the podcast with Jeremy and John.
JJ,
Yes,
Jeff, actually triple J.
it was the Triple J's. Yeah, we had
Whoa,
we had two JBs, and then we had a JS.
two JBs, huh? Flip that
Yeah,
around. What does that spell?
I don't know, Dan. Tell me, what does it spell?
JB, it spells BJ. All right, just if there were any kids listening at home, earmuffs,
Earmuffs.
earmuffs, put them on.
Get them. Make sure they're secure.
Yeah, put them on. This might be a raunchy pod. I don't know. If we're starting this
I
way,
don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it gets off the rails quick. But yeah, had the beer fest that was up in Madison, Wisconsin. I think I mentioned it to you before that I drove up with Jeremy to like a bar. You had to go get the tickets in person. This is like an event that it's pretty exclusive. When I mean that, like it's not they don't sell tickets online, so it's not like something that we'd be like, oh Dan, how do you want to come? It's like a limited to 2 tickets per person, and then you have to
That's
wait in line for it to get the ticket.
that sounds pretty old school, right? Nothing
That's what I
online.
said.
You can't be trying to like pre-buy your tickets or anything. This is a show up at the door at this time, get your
Yeah.
tickets, and we're gonna drink some beer.
Yeah, yeah. You drink beer while you're waiting to get the tickets, and then after that, many months later in August when it's hot as fuck outside, you go to the fest, and it's
Oh
just like
yeah,
imagine like a carnival, but a carnival of beers in that aspect. So there's no Ferris wheels, there's nothing like that. It's just
uh,
straight up, 1,400 different beers. You had I don't know how many different vendors.
was it
Um,
that many?
yeah, yeah. It was insane. They had like 8 different sections of like tents of just I don't even think I hit not every tent but like every section of tents. I don't even think I even like got one from every single one.
Now these weren't all local. These were people from around.
Some were local Wisconsin ones, some were Minnesota. There was a handful of good ones from um, Illinois in there. A couple. There was a local one. More Brewing had. They were up here or up there. I
Okay,
didn't end up running into them because it just by the time you scheduled and you had it, and then you kind of forget about it because you've had a couple. And it was like you just start losing the place of where you want to go. And then a couple of the beers obviously are like 20% or IPAs, so
oh those will get you. Those will set you up.
they catch up to you quick. But yeah, it was projected to rain the whole afternoon. It only rained for like 5 minutes, so you huddled under a quick tent, waited for it to stop raining. Hopefully, you had a beer in your hand and you were good to go.
Well, I'll tell you, it's funny you mentioned that because that's literally what happened to Maria and I. Shout out Maria. We went out to breakfast this weekend, and we wanted to try this new place that was a few minutes from us. We drove out there, uh, did not make a reservation, didn't think we had to. We get
Yeah,
there, and they had a few spots outside available, but not, we had to wait almost a half hour inside. I asked Maria, easy answer. She's like, I'm fucking starving. All right. So we go outside. We're like, all right, cool. We order some drinks. Takes them a few minutes. We don't even get the drinks. Starts just pouring. Right. It
of
was
course.
it was starting to drizzle just a little bit, and then like it was right before it started coming down. Maria's like, all right, we gotta go inside. So we go in there. It starts pouring. Right. Then we sat down inside. We got our food and everything was good. But I'll tell you what. Don't love the rain. Not a fan of the rain. Not a fan of the heat. And I wanted to go back on your beer fest real quick. Do you have a favorite from the weekend?
Yes. Actually, the first one that I tried, I made sure to actually write them down because I was like, they have an app which I thought was really cool. It's because it's like the Great Taste of Midwest. That was like the app and stuff. So they sent out every single like place that was on there, and you could actually keep track kind of by putting like, okay, I tried this one. So to answer your question, it was a jalapeno cream beer. From
Whoa.
I will pull up where it's from. I'm not just gonna leave it out there. Um,
Yeah, don't tease me. Come on now.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it was delicious. It was from Uga Brewing in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. I know you can't see it. Look at how bright that is. It's actually
That is
hilarious.
like The
But it,
Shining.
yeah, it's a jalapeno cream beer. Delicious.
Jalapeno cream beer. Okay, so give it to me real quick. You get some jalapeno. Is there a little kick to
Yeah,
it? What do
little
we think?
kick, little perfect kick to it. Wasn't too much.
It's like a
Um,
light beer, like a regular beer.
it was an IPA.
It's an IPA.
So yeah, it was an ale, I should say. It was
It was an
a
ale.
jalapeno cream ale.
Do you have the ABV on that?
I do. It was a 5.30
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Jalapeno cream, really?
Yeah. First one I tried, that same place ended up having, I think it was that same place or one next to it, had an ice cream. They had a beer infused ice cream. I didn't get to it because because they also, what they do is they'll do like releases at certain times. I know your eyes are like, your mind's probably blown on it. Didn't end up trying it because it was like they do the releases sometimes for them. So then you have to get in line. You have to wait in line for it. I just didn't want to wait. Um, because obviously I'd rather drink other beer and stuff instead of coming back. But did eat during it too. Ate before we went. Had a Belgian waffle. Tried to keep it light,
Oh,
but had the
filling.
ice. Had a nice little filler in there, which was fine. And then had a Euros midway through the day. So
Okay.
that was delicious. Obviously a little messy because it's tzatziki sauce. So
Well, and I was going to say, was it really that good, or was it just because you'd been having a few drinks and you take a bite of it and you're like, man, this thing's fucking
I mean,
good.
it could have been the latter on it, but it was from a food truck, so you can never go wrong.
Food trucks
Obviously,
are good. They're
I
sneaky.
love food trucks. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, good event. First time for me. John and Jeremy have been going for years, so shout them out. Thanks for the invite, boys.
Now, last thing on that, where was this again?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay, so you drove up there. Okay, interesting. All
Yeah,
right.
nice little cruise up 90 from my house. It's not a bad drive at all. It was only like an hour and a half. Coming home was a little
Oh,
sketchy because they had massive storms and flooding like
mm.
all across
I
Wisconsin.
heard about that on the news. That like historic flooding, or I forget the
It
word they
was,
used, but
believe me, top three worst drives of my life. Like two of them were
really.
including snow. The water was so high on the ground that like I couldn't go over 65. So pretty much I was sitting there cruising, and then like obviously people are hitting their fucking brakes like they do. So I'm like not skidding, but like I'm like sitting there going like a nice pace, and I'm like having to keep a distance, and I'm like, oh fudge, like if I have to sit here and slam on my brakes, I'm going into someone's back seat. So
Yeah, there she is again. Yeah, I'll tell you. Driving in the rain will get you, but driving in historic flooding rain, now that's a little different.
added that to my repertoire. My car. I'm like, because I would feel it too after I started hitting a certain speed. I'm like, I felt my car rattling. I'm like, oh, that's not. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with my car. Like, so yeah, wild. But yeah, should we jump into some sports?
I'm ready, Freddie.
All right, let's jump into the MLB. We got probably about 2 weeks worth of data, but we're just going to run through some of the major trades. Obviously, we had the major trade deadline. We'll give you a little bit week in review as well. A historic number of trades. 50 of them went down during the deadline, which 35 on Thursday alone. Pretty crazy that trades just kept going.
Yeah, no, I mean there were definitely a lot. I don't know if I realized there were that many, but because I was probably paying attention to some of the bigger names with some of those deals. But I mean, how about the reliever market too? Right? I don't know if we've
Yeah,
seen this many big time, not just relievers, closers. Right? I mean, you're talking about.
right.
I don't have all of them in. Well, I've got Mason Miller and Duran, right? And those two, arguably the two best closers in the game right now, and they're both now on new teams.
Ryan
And
Helsley.
Helsley, Huge fan of Helsley. And where does he go? He goes to the Mets, and what's he doing? He's like an eighth inning guy now, right? He's not even
Yeah,
the closer. And
I
Edwin
don't. Yep.
Diaz, I like Edwin Diaz. I know Helsley's numbers the last year or two, like he's kind of trending down a little bit, but
Yeah.
the guy is still pretty freaking good. Edwin Diaz has had his issues, but that's another pod. But yeah, I mean, David Bednar goes to the
Yeah.
Yankees. Who else goes to the Yankees? Another guy who used to close, Camilo Duvall. Um,
And then Jake Bird too from the Rockies. He wasn't their closer, but he was a big inning, big relief guy. Got out of the Rockies mess, but we could spend a whole lot of time watching them talking about the Yankees too. Just real quickly, how many games have they blown in the last week or two? But pretty much all in the same game. All those guys all blew a start or gave up runs and blew the game. Like it was insane. I've never seen that where you go out, you get your closer, you get the guy before your closer. You already have your other closer with Devin Williams, who's been stinking up the place, and then all of them blew up. And a lot of people, I think I saw like a headline talking about Jake Bird, about how the Rockies basically used and abused him, traded him away, and people were like, yeah, we didn't, like, there was an executive who was anonymous apparently who basically said like we had no interest in him because we watched what the Rockies did with him all year, and he has no arm left. And the Yankees jumped on it because they were so desperate, so they went out, got 3 guys that historically have been pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, you would think, I don't know what's going on with the Yankees, right? I mean, they've been dropping games left and right. You were ahead of the division about a month or so ago. You lose it to Toronto. Now you're in third in your own division. You got Boston. That's a game and a half, 2 games better than them right now. Yankees have just lost 3 in a row. Things are not going well with the Yankees. They had some stats up for Aaron Judge recently, and Aaron Judge, it makes you laugh, right? Aaron Judge has to be on this Herculean sort of run that he's been on for the Yankees to be an actual World Series contender. And if he's more of a pedestrian, slightly above average hitter, this Yankees offense, especially without Juan Soto, is not that good. Now, Cody Bellinger's having a solid year. Stanton's hurt all the time, but when he's out there, he's usually pretty good. But, you look at this team and you start to wonder, come playoff time, it looks like the Yankees are going to be in. That's a team I could potentially see falling out, though. They're not playing well right now. And baseball it's a marathon. You have these ups and downs that you go through all year. The Yankees are on a big down right now, and if they don't clear it up sooner or later, you might have an extra team coming out of the West. Cleveland's even jumped up. I mean,
I was just about to say that. I was going to say, you're giving them a lot more credit. I mean, they're on the literal eyeball emoji of like they might get bounced from the playoffs. Long time left. We still have a whole month and a half left before it's all said and done. But if they don't turn this around, I mean, Judge is hurt, so you have to rely on everybody else in company with the Yankees. But my goodness, yeah, Cleveland, who was dead in the water pretty much, kind of trading away everybody, all of a sudden, is a half game out. And it's kind of funny because if the Sox didn't beat them yesterday, they wouldn't even be, they'd have like a 1.5 game lead on, the Yankees, I think. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I think Seattle's a lock at this point. Red Sox have stayed pretty steady. I think if Texas, keep eyes on them too. They're only 2.5 out. So if weirder things could happen. Obviously, I know the Yankees, I think, just got done playing the Rangers as well. I know the recent one they faced the Astros this past weekend, but yeah, Yankees falling apart. And then I don't want to jump right into the Cubs yet. But, sticking back to the deadline, I think the deadline has been one of those hit or miss. And, basically the biggest winners were like the Padres because you got Mason Miller. The Mariners went out. They got Naylor and Suarez, huge. Mm-hmm. The Astros reunited with Carlos Correa. The Mets did their thing in the bullpen. Yankees, I mean, you have to consider them a winner because they actually went out and got what they needed, but it's just not panning out 100%. And then the Phillies went out. I think they got Harrison Bader, which was a solid pickup. And then they got Duran too for the closing. But moving into the underwhelming ones, I'd have to say it's the Cubs and the Red Sox. Just teams that were just kind of like, they're playoff teams, potentially could win the whole fucking thing. didn't make the moves. So I guess we could bring up the Cubs before we do a quick whip around after it. But yeah, we'll talk Cubs and Sox now. So let's start with the Cubs and their 6-game hole that they have against the Brewers.
Oh, yippee! Thank you, Jeffrey. It's unfortunate. I was thinking about this earlier, like what the hell to say about the Cubs. I don't even want to talk about it, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But you think about it. I mean, we're 17 over 500. We're a team. We're in second right now only because Milwaukee has the best record in baseball by multiple games, and they've won 9 in a row, and they're the hottest team going right now. Pat Murphy and his stupid fucking pocket pancake and pocket pizza bullshit. What else are you going to do in Milwaukee? He's probably got a pocket brewski in his back pocket too.
Maybe some pierogies.
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe a pretzel. But look, Milwaukee's got they have a good team, right? But it hurts you. It hurts you on the inside with how well they've played, and it's not that I dislike Milwaukee. I'm beginning to dislike Milwaukee for sure, but
you should.
I like some of their players. I like the way they go about it. They're analytical. They're one of the smaller markets we have in our sport, and they have to take a page out of Tampa and the Athletics and some of those teams' playbooks to try to compete. And what they've done, I mean, I still don't think it come playoff time, and this isn't me trying to hate on Milwaukee. I still don't think they're the best team in the National League. Personally, with you, I just like San Diego a lot. I've liked the Padres for a while. I think that last year, there's been 1 or 2 years where I thought it could be their year. Preller really went out, though. He got a couple big-time guys. Mason Miller, in my opinion, is the number one closer in the game. If you want to give it to Duran or maybe another guy, hey.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I like San Diego a lot. Milwaukee, I just don't trust their offense. I'm sorry. I still don't. Do they find ways to manufacture? They do. And they've got some solid hitters. Yelich is back this year. He's looked solid. I love William Contreras. I was a big fan of Wilson. He's a hothead. He's another Zambrano, but they both can hit. Some of the other guys, Isaac Collins has been swinging a hell of a bat recently, and they've got their other guys that are doing their thing. I think my favorite player on that team might be their closer. McGill is a fucking animal. I did not know how good that guy was until this year. And you look at Devin Williams in the Bronx, and you're like, well, we didn't need Devin because he's leaving his changeup right over the middle of the plate, and McGill's throwing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, bringing up their bullpen, I'm glad you brought that up. You go back a tick further. Who did they have before that? Josh Hader. Casually just had the best closer in baseball at the time and said, you know what, Josh, we're going to let you go before you become a free agent. So they traded him. Where did they trade him right to Houston, or did he go somewhere else before that? I don't remember. It's been a while. I feel like he went to Houston. I feel like they traded him and then they extended him.
I want to say that you're right on that, yeah.
Or I don't.
We'll
I mean, who knows? Someone will fact check me if this goes on TikTok. But he got traded out of Milwaukee, then signed in free agency with Houston's been there. Been overall pretty solid for them the last 2.5 years, whatever it's been. And then you have Devin Williams, the Martian, I think they call him, or whatever they call it, whatever his nickname is. He was elite for a long time too. They said, "See you later. We're sending you off to New York to go to the Big Apple," right? Falls apart there. Milwaukee just seems to churn out closers left and right. I actually thought Jacob Mizorowski was going to be a bullpen arm. The fact that he ended up being a starter is insane. I mean, he's hurt too, but like the Milwaukee's they're insane right now. Plus 132 run differential, and just overall, I mean, they beat the shit out of the Cubs. Yeah, they had the Cubs beat them the one game pretty significantly too, but my goodness, winning 9 in a row, right having 6. Yeah.
They're the hottest team right now. Like I said, they've jumped ahead because you know what? All these other teams, right? The Yankees were in first for a while. They fell out. Toronto's 69-50. They have the second best record, I believe, in the sport. They're doing great, but Milwaukee's, they just won like 10 in a row, and then I think they lost a game, and then they've won 9 in a row.
I know.
So
it's been against good teams too. It's not like they're just beating up on like the Sox and Pirates. They beat the hell out of like the Mets too. That's another team that's almost if the National League was a little bit better, I would say that like the Mets are on kind of borderline, like, hey, we might actually lose this type of thing. But a lot of those teams all packed it up and traded away every piece that they had. I mean, it's going to be interesting for sure. I think it just takes. I guess let's talk about the Cubs. I'm going to put you on the spot with it. Let's talk about their deadline. I mean, it was not. I mean, the people
Yeah,
that they
I
got.
mean, we didn't really do anything at the deadline. We got a solid arm in Kit Ridge. We got a utility player in Willie Castro. I like both of those guys, but
Great people.
we were linked to all the big names in the sport. And honest, to be fair, I will throw Jet a bone. Almost all of those big name pitchers did not move. Sandy didn't move.
Right.
Gallen didn't move. Gore didn't move. Joe Ryan was the one guy that I wanted. I said, if I'm going
I
after
thought
a
that's who you
starter,
guys were getting. Yeah.
no offense to Mackenzie Gore, and this is my third or fourth expletive of the pod, but fuck Mackenzie Gore. The guy just struck out. He just struck out 10 the other day, but the game before that, he gave up like 7 or 8 runs. So, you know what?
Right.
We didn't need Mackenzie Gore. We
No.
got Boyd and Imanaga. Throw Joe Ryan in between them. You got left, right, left. That's what we needed. But again, those guys didn't move. Now, I'm still very underwhelmed and underimpressed. Our biggest move at the deadline, and I think I made a comment to you, was Jed Hoyer being re-signed. We re-signed our GM
Yeah.
right before the deadline. So that was our biggest move. A big part of that is because Ricketts is not going to re-sign Tucker. I think everybody is pretty much knows
That's
that.
what I was going to bring up. Yep.
And other than Matt Shaw, I think our next highest rated prospect is Owen Casey, and he's going to probably be our right fielder next year. So part of this is not on Jed; it's on ownership, right? It's Tom Ricketts saying, "I'm not going to write Tucker." And you know what? I will say this: I went out and got a Kyle Tucker jersey. He is being outshadowed by at least 2 or 3 guys offensively this year. He's been off recently, and not just recently, like the last month or two. He's not been. The first month of the year, you're like, give the guy a blank check. I'll give you $500 million. As of the last month or two, would you pay him $300 million? With
300, yes.
PCA?
4 or 5, no. That's the thing is like he's looking for probably 4 to 5 million, maybe even 6, just given what fucking Juan Soto.
That's what everybody was saying at the beginning of the year. But how the hell can you write a $400 million check knowing that you got a center fielder who's outperformed him? You've got a guy that we moved out of right field who's just DHing, who's overperforming him. And you've got Michael Busch, who's probably got better numbers on the year.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things that I'm gonna bring up too. Like you hit it on the head. You don't move Owen Cassie if you know you're not re-signing Kyle Tucker. The writing's on the wall. You're not re-signing him. And I've been making the joke with a lot of guys too that Chicago's a small market now outside of the Bears. The Sox and Bulls never fucking spend. The Blackhawks haven't spent, and I mean they re-signed Seth Jones, but that was a big joke. They haven't really done much recently either. I mean, write it down now. It's like Chicago's been like a small market since God knows how long, and that's why these owners are so fucking cheap and frugal that they don't want to sign them. That's a lot of expletives here, man. Jesus. It's just frustrating because these guys. I mean, I'm frustrated for you guys because that's just proving a point that like the Ricketts don't want to spend, the Reinsdorfs don't want to spend, the Wirtz will spend. I think. So I'm going to give the Blackhawks a little bit of a leeway. They're kind of just doing this whole thing with the prospects, but we're not talking Hawks. But, you guys played it very, very safe. And I think you guys took a page out of Rick Hahn's book saying, we're going to get this guy back from the injured list. It's going to be just like, winning at the trade deadline. I've heard that story so many times. I heard it from Rick Hahn like 2 years in a row because Lance Lynn came off the IL and it was like, oh, this is like a fresh new toy. It's really not. I mean, if Jameson comes back and he's great, and Amaya comes back and he's behind the plate and he hits like the hell out of the ball, there's no question the Cubs are going to make the playoffs. It's do they have the horses in the carriage to pull it? That's my thing. I don't know. I mean, Mike Soroka's already hurt. I don't know if he's done for the year yet. No one said that, but it's not looking good whenever it's a shoulder injury. I mean, that was kind of a BS signing, to be honest with you, or a trade. The guy hasn't shown much life. No, it was a wasted thing. Kittredge was good. I did like Willie Castro. I think he's a solid, just a utility guy, like you said. Give a couple guys at this point, a couple days off, whatever. They're going to make the playoffs. End of the day, it's going to be how far their pitchers take them. Right now, they're trending down. I mean, Pete Crow has been horrible the last 2 weeks. I'd have to say. I mean, last 7 days.
The offense has been up and down. Yeah, the offense has been up and down ever since the All-Star break. I mean, we were petering out a little bit before the break, but we got to
Got
go
cold
back
at
on
the wrong time.
yeah, to go back to the trade deadline for just a quick second. I think Jed's thinking, he not only for him that he got his contract extended, I think he's also looking ahead to next year. Justin Steele going down, with him coming back next year, getting back in the rotation with Boyd and Imanaga, and Kate Horton has also looked really good. So we've got a potential to be even better next year. I also think that if we lose Tucker, this Owen Casey kid could be pretty good.
That'll be all right.
I think he's looking ahead. I think our window's still open. I want to say one 10-second thing. I don't know if you saw this on the news recently. The Bears want to move to Arlington Heights. They want it, and I'm calling it right now. I don't know how this is going to happen. The Arlington Heights people in their municipal whatever building, they are pulling some strings. They are doing something over there. Bears are coming to Arlington Heights. 2028.
I'm cool with it. Yeah, we'll have to have a whole section on that. We'll talk about that next week. We'll do a deep dive into it because it's been back and forth about that. But yeah, I think that as well.
I'm also going to say this.
Bring the White Sox with them.
Last thing on the National League, really quick. I think we've got our playoff team set. I think the Phillies and most likely the Mets are in there. I think Milwaukee and us will be in there. And there's no way anyone else from the West other than the Dodgers and the Padres are in. So I know it's still early to call it. National League playoffs, I think, are set. I know people want to say Cincinnati could make a run or this team can make a run. I think your playoff schedule is set for the NL. AL, we will see. I don't know if we're going to have too many other changes. The AL West, man. The East is interesting too, but the AL West is going to be a dogfight down to the last game.
Absolutely, I agree. It's going to be fun to watch. And honestly, I think it's a pretty wide open one because the Dodgers haven't been blowing people away like everyone thought they would be either. A lot of injuries, I will give them that, but they're not that team.
They're getting healthy, though.
They are getting healthy at the right time.
That's the thing.
I mean, I guess we could always laugh about it because the Cubs usually choke in September. So if they're getting it out now, I mean, maybe by September it's like a new, fresh revival. And then
I'm a little down on us right now. Just we haven't been great, so we'll see what happens.
It's not fun. But moving on to a team that's even worse than you guys, we will talk about the White Sox very briefly. I just want to make a couple good notes. Colson Montgomery. I don't know if you know much about his story, but he's been one of those prospects that we drafted in, I think, 2021 that was, almost non-existent, very slow to develop. Even got called down to the Arizona affiliate down in Arizona, where he had to relearn his swing because he was hitting so poorly in AAA. As soon as he gets back from AAA, starts hitting the cover off the ball, and obviously the Sox have nothing to lose. You can call him up, right? The dude has been on fire recently, and it's been so great to see, just like a little breath of fresh air. Yes, his average isn't there, but the guy has 9 home runs on the season already. He's only been up for frickin', 31 games. And he's got 9 home runs, and he's got 2 in the last 7. Been hitting the cover off the ball, though. So give him a little props there. But not only Colson Montgomery, we got Lennon Sosa, who's kind of just falling into his own as well. He's, batting .278. He's got 14 home runs, 48 RBIs. Obviously, he's on a really, really bad team. The wins and losses aren't there, but it's nice to see the development in the infield is showing. Miguel Vargas got hurt, and it's kind of showing, too. Without Vargas out there, they have kind of fallen apart. Chase Mydrith got hurt too. He's on the IL. It's just like showing growth within the team. And you saw it when the Sox faced the Cubs too. They had a lot of good, talent out there. So it's just, putting it all together. Lennon Sosa might be that guy that just comes out and, gets re-signed for a couple of years.
You guys are going to need to draft, or you're going to have to trade for an aircraft carrier or two in that lineup. You're going to need, Colson Montgomery looks like he could be a guy that hits you some homers. And I'm sure, you give him a full season. He's been swinging a good bat. So, you get that average up a little bit. He's a big guy, too. He's your shortstop, right?
Shortstop. And because we had Mydrith, he was playing third, too. So he's playing out of position. But, yeah, he's
big guy.
230. Yeah.
He's a good size. He's got good pop. You guys, just because I want to give you a jab, you got the second worst record in the AL. Just to jab on you real quick. But you know what?
Is it the second worst? I thought it was the worst in the AL.
Oh, excuse
Are
me.
they not
That's
the worst?
43. No, you are the
Yeah, they
worst. You're
should be
right.
the
You're right.
worst.
You're right. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was looking at Colorado, and I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Second worst in all of baseball. But you know what? You guys have some
Yes.
bright spots. We've mentioned your pitching.
Yeah.
You get some offense over there, right?
It does. It is kind of a pain though, because when you look at the draft and you took Hagen, we took Hagen Smith this past year or whatever. I think he's sitting in Double A, and they're a little worried about his arm. I think already.
Oh no.
Shocker. And then you had guys like Jack Haggs go after him, and then you had also Nick Kurtz go after him. It's like, what are we doing? I think it was Kurtz went after him. I'll have to pull up their draft, but it's just like one of those things where you take all those, you pass up on these guys that are already called up to the big leagues. I mean, Connor Griffin looks good from Pittsburgh as well. It's tough. You almost wonder what the hell they're doing, but no, they need to go out in free agency. I think it's 2027 is when you'll start seeing the Sox actually be a little bit more competitive. Obviously, it's a lot better this year than it was last year. You can't get much worse than last year. Next year will still be a very bad year. I still expect potentially 99 losses. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt off the 100. But I think if you continue to draft, like whoever you get in the draft this year, hopefully you can get them quickly up by 2028, 2029, and then you got to land some free agents, get some outfield talent. Luis Roberts been playing pretty well recently too. They decided to pick him up, so I'm assuming he'll be back next year. Obviously, you don't just move him for or not move him for no reason. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with the Sox, but yeah.
So are we thinking next year is the year? Are we thinking next year's the year Robert gets traded?
It's possible. I mean, they're picking up his $20 million option. That's for sure. Might be
His
the
name has
offseason.
been
Maybe
floated.
I saw
His
that,
name's been,
but
it's his name's been floated the last like 3 or 4 years, and he never gets dealt because he's either hurt or he's not playing as well. But everybody has seen him at his best when he's out there healthy. He's one of the top, if not maybe the best center fielder in the game. So it's a shame.
It's really funny.
It's
so funny because he's been playing really well recently too.
Yeah. Hey.
But yeah.
You know what?
Quick thing around the league. Obviously for July. Paul Skeens won Pitcher of the Month, going 5-0 with a 6.7 ERA for the month, which is insane. Did you see the Speedway Classic? That was pretty fun between the Braves and Reds.
I checked it out a little bit. I tried to watch more of it the night when they had the rain delay, and I wanted to see it because you had the two best guys starting in that game. You had Chase Burns, who I wanted to get in this. I wanted him and Kurtz in that last draft. I was able to get Kurtz a couple times. Okay, awesome. But you got him and you got Spencer Strider, who just came back. They both throw 100 miles an hour. So wanted to see that. I saw a little bit of it. I thought some of the pictures and everything from it, and the fans being the way it was set up, I thought it actually looked really cool. You broke a record for ticket sales. I think they were 80. What did they have? Technically, the tickets sold, they were like 91,000, but then, depending on how many people came back, it was still a record-setting night for the MLB. But I thought it was a super cool venue, and I think they should do stuff like that more often.
Yeah, I think you're going to start seeing it. I think they said that the Field of Dreams might come back too.
That's
I know that they were doing like renovations over there, so we'll see. Yeah, I guess that's all I got for baseball for the last 2 weeks. I mean, there's some big ones, like obviously Kyle Schwarber hit his 40th home run. It was a grand slam. He's going to be challenging Ryan Howard's club record. Pete Alonso tied Darryl Strawberry's. I think he might even broke it for home runs for the career. I think in New York Mets history.
What is Ryan Howard's record?
Ryan Howard's record is. Let me look it up while we
58
talk
or something?
about it.
I think he was pretty close to 60. I don't know if he might have actually gotten 60. I'm not sure.
I think he might have because he was solid for like a really long time.
He was
59.
He was a freaking monster.
Yeah, 2006 he had 58.
Hey, 1 point for Dan. I got two things for you. We had our first female umpire in MLB.
Yes.
Did you see that?
I did. I actually had it in my notes.
Yep, Jen. I think her name is Jen Powell. Hey, congrats to Jen. Yep. We'll give you a quick gabagool. We'll give you an couple of these. Good to see there. I think
We love to see it.
Couple of her called strikes seemed a little wide, but no, she looked like she did a good job.
Yeah.
And we got to bring this up, whether you're a fan or not. Justin Verlander got his 3,500th career strikeout. You look at the list of the guys that have 3,500 career strikeouts or more. There's 10 people on that list. I'm going to run through them as quick as I can. I'm not even going to give you the numbers. You can look them up. Nolan Ryan, we all know, the GOAT, the God. Randy Johnson, the big unit, second. We had the Rocket, third. Carlton, fourth. We had Blyleven, number 5. Tom Seaver, of course, Seaver. Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry, one of my favorite names in the sport. Walter Johnson, 3,509. And Justin Verlander, 3,500. So we got to give our props to JV as well. He's been one of the best that we've seen the last almost, two decades or so?
Yeah, he's been in the league forever. My goodness. But yeah, shout out JV. All right, let's dive into a quick around the league for the NFL. Obviously, we had preseason, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But some of the big headlines from the NFL: Micah Parsons requested a trade from Dallas. It's sparking some turmoil inside of it. Obviously Jerry Jones, we know him, notorious for kind of fucking up the Cowboys for the last however long. They're going to have to trade him. Obviously, we'd all love to see the Bears grab him. Kind of do like a younger Khalil Mack type deal. So we'll see what happens with that. Terry McLaurin from Washington. I think he's looking at like $33 million per year. Obviously, the Commanders are not going to pay him that, so we'll see if he gets traded or not. I know he was holding out, so we'll have to see what happens. And then the last note I have that's pretty big is Matt Stafford has that lingering back issue, so we'll see what ends up coming back. Allegedly threw 60 balls this past Saturday. Didn't practice today. The thing with Matt Stafford, though, he's been in the league for as long as he has. He doesn't really need a whole lot of time. And they didn't really, yes, they got Devontae Adams, too. So it's a new face to learn an offense with. But, he'll be out there. If need be, he's going to be out there. They'll inject his back. But, at least they have Jimmy Garoppolo, if worse comes to worse, as a backup. So that's a quick around the league. Do you have anything for the NFL?
Not
or
really.
We just jump into fitness?
Two things. Matt Stafford might be the toughest SOB in the league, and Jimmy G, the local kid, huh? Let's see if he can win a couple games.
Yeah, no shit, right? We'll see. So let's jump into our sleepers, breakouts, and busts for the running back position. Do you want to take this one, or do you want me to lead us off with our sleeper for the year?
You
cool.
Can start that.
I got you. Going with Javonte Williams, landed in Dallas. No real competition there. It's Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue they drafted, but he's a 5th-round rookie. It's going to take some time for him to get it, and then he's got some negative reviews out of camp. He's either a harder worker or he's lazy, one of the two. I heard he looked good as of late, but Javonte could be a very, very good option with Dallas. They did just draft an offensive lineman. They do have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, so it's going to open up the run game. And I think you saw it, too. His rookie year in Denver, he looked good, and I think he's just going to be very good in Dallas, being a volume back. And I think that's going to be just like one of those guys that you get in later rounds that's going to be a solid, solid pickup for the Cowboys.
Okay. All right, Javonte Williams. You know what? I feel like he's been drafted pretty highly or high enough the last couple of years, and I feel like he's done nothing. So solid. That's an under-the-radar guy here. You're going to have to help
me.
Sleeper. I didn't write down the team here. I was reading up on this. How about J.K. Dobbins? Okay.
Yes,
How about
with
J.K.
Denver.
Dobbins? With Denver, right? So, the story with him, right? He's always got to stay healthy, and everybody has to stay healthy in this league. But Dobbins, he's on Denver now, right? He's I think supposed to be the running back number 1, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yeah.
I look at Dobbins if he can find a way to be healthy week 1, which is in about a month or so, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Denver, I think, is going to be an interesting team. I don't think they're going to ask Bo Nix to throw the ball 30, 40 times every game, or most games. Bo Nix is going to run a few times, but Dobbins is going to be able to catch a few passes, run the ball a little bit. I like Dobbins as a guy that you could get, I think, in some later rounds, and I think he could be, again, if the health is there, I think he could be a solid option.
Yeah, absolutely. His only competition is RJ Harvey. They just drafted him, so I think he's going to obviously eat into it, but I think he'll be pretty good as well. So a nice little pickup there. My last one was for a sleeper, too. He's not really much of a sleeper. I don't know if it'll actually work out given the fact that, they have Braylon Allen there. But Breece Hall, I think he's going to, one of those guys that's kind of fallen off the radar for the Jets. We'll see what they end up doing. All right, let's talk breakouts.
That'd be nice for you.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, breakouts. My first one, or actually, go ahead. Hit me with your first.
You want me to go? All right. Well, you know what? I'm just going to keep it young in the draft, and we'll have to see how the O-line holds up in Vegas. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We're going to try Ashton Jeanty, right? This kid coming out, supposed to be the next thing since Bijan. We all know how good Bijan is. And I feel like we still haven't seen the best from Bijan. I know that for a fact. But
yeah, he'd be an easy breakout candidate too. But yeah,
he'd be an easy one, yes. But you know what? We're going to go with Jeanty. I think the Raiders. I don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback position. I don't know how good the offensive line is, but they got one guy. Oh, that's right. They got Geno. You got one guy over there to throw the ball to, right? In my opinion, and that's Brock Bowers. Now you got a guy to run the ball. So you're starting to build a little something there. You reminded me about Geno. I don't think the Raiders will be as bad. I don't know. I think Jeanty's going to be pretty damn good, though. I wanted him, couldn't get him.
Yeah. I'm happy to have at least one share of him. So yeah, hopefully he is good. But I'll talk about a guy that you do have, Trayvon Henderson. Had a huge game for the Patriots. First play of the game, he had a kickoff return for a 100-yard touchdown. Can't go wrong with that. And he had a couple of good breakout runs. Rookie out of Ohio State. Patriots got their guy. They have a team that likes to run the ball. They have Drake May as it is. And he is also good in pass protection, so he'll be on the field. So should be a good volume play. I mean, 15, 20 touches a game, he's going to smash that expectation. So
that's my breakout. To hear that. I love to hear that because I've got him, and we need all the help we can get in gridiron.
Yeah, absolutely. Lastly, my bust is going to be James Cook. Obviously, he's got his contract situation. It's kind of an easier pick. I also think he's just kind of limited just because Josh Allen is that kind of goal line threat. He'll poach the goal line from him, and he was really good last year. But other than that, I mean, I don't see much upside for him. I mean, he might be on his way out too. I've also heard the rumor he might get traded. So depending on where he goes, obviously if he's with the Bills, he's going to be okay. But if he doesn't end up with the Bills, watch out.
You know what? I like that one. I'm going to go to the New Orleans Saints. And I'm going to talk about a guy that I feel like we've been talking about for a decade. I'm going to Alvin Kamara.
Don't you put that evil on him.
Here's the thing, though. What the hell are the Saints going to do this year? You don't have Derek Carr coming back. The guy they just drafted, is he going to be anything? I don't know. I don't even know who the hell the Saints have on offense. Michael Thomas is hurt every single year unless he's not playing there anymore. I don't know what the Saints are going to do. And frankly, if you've got a game plan, if you're a defensive coordinator going to play the Saints, who are you going to game plan against? You got a game plan against Kamara. Right. They don't have a quarterback, anybody that's going to scare me. Make sure that when he gets the ball, he doesn't get past the line of scrimmage. I think I could see Kamara being pretty, depending on where he gets drafted, I think he'd have a bit of a bust there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the wheels will fall off at some point. I'm hoping it's not this year. But I think just volume. He'll still be okay. Why?
He'll have the volume
because they have to. Yeah, and then Kendry Miller has been pretty good for them too. So at least in preseason. So we'll see if he finally takes that leap. It's only been year 3 for him. So yeah. That's our sleepers, breakouts, and busts for running backs. Now moving into our little Mount Rushmore, it's a perfect mix of funny, painfully relatable, and brutally honest. The Mount Rushmores of lies we tell ourselves. You want to take this one lead off, or do you want me to do it?
You know what? I gave you the football stuff, so I'll kick this one off. All right,
let's
Mount Rushmore of lies we tell ourselves. Okay, this was a good one. I had a couple good ones here. Number 1 for me, I think I have to go with, I'll hit the gym. right? That could be like a
Yeah.
could be like a New Year's resolution thing, but I think it's more of an everyday sort of every week thing, right? Yeah. Oh, don't worry, I'll hit the gym next week, right? No, you won't, you fat slob. You're just going to keep piling a bunch of food down your pie hole after work, sitting on the couch.
That
So,
hurts. It hurts.
yeah. So,
That one hurts.
I'll hit the gym. That's one.
All right. Perfect. I'll just have one drink.
Oh, that's a good one.
Cut the 3 a.m. You're sitting there singing karaoke.
The whole I'll have one drink. I don't know whoever started that, but that had to be just the dumbest
Who
thing.
just has one too? It's the
Yeah,
biggest
nope.
lie ever. Like,
I don't think anybody's ever had one, right? The bartender comes around, oh, you want another one, right? Of course I want a second one. What the
yeah,
fuck? Come on.
yeah, exactly. And then this one kind of goes into the same thing that you kind of mentioned with the gym. But I'll start Monday, or we'll push it off. Whether it's the gym, the diet, the budget, work items. Oh, we'll push it to Monday. We'll circle back on Monday with it.
Circle back. I like the wording there too. Circle back. That's a big one in the business realm. I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
How about this one? I'm only going to the store for a few things, right? You show up with your list or everything in your head. You're like, okay, like I'm 5 things and I'm out, right? Maria, I know you're listening. We are notoriously terrible at this. We go to the store. We've got the list, couple things on there, and it'll mainly Maria, but it'll be one of those things where she's like, "Oh, we need this thing right here." And I'm like, "No, we don't need that." And somehow by the end of the trip, you're loading everything on the thing, and you're like, "Wait, when did like half of the cart get in here?" Or you're walking around and it's like we've walked around the whole store and we only have 2 of the 5 items on the list, and the cart's full. So yeah, that's a big one for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no. Every time I have to do, we have to do like pickup orders, so we don't do that.
See, that's smart. Maybe we should start doing that. This one is maybe more for just for me personally. This is and parents, if you're listening, earmuffs on this one. Yeah, I'll get to work on time. Oh my God, I've always been. I mean, for me, it's really just like anywhere on time. I just have no concept of time. That's what the Faja would say, but I can't do it for the life of me. I show up a minute or 2 before work, when we're supposed to be there, and that's just who I am. I'm going to be late to my own funeral, is what I've been told for almost 30 years. So, yeah, being on time.
Absolutely. Got one that kind of adds into your grocery list here. I don't need to write it down. I'll remember.
Oh, Jesus. Maria's rolling her eyes now because I forget everything.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. Like, it's so funny because I'll remember it, and then all of a sudden I get to the store, I see something else. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get this instead, and I'll forget whatever the hell it was. So that's one of them. And then my final one is I'll just watch one more episode, and you end up 4 episodes longer. It's 2 a.m. You're like, oh shit, I have to be up early.
Dude, I'm actually glad you said that because I don't have that on my list, but that happens to me more times than not. I'm watching something late at night, and I start to fall asleep a little bit on the couch or whatever, and you wake up and it's still on, or you got a new show on at like 2 in the morning, and
Yep.
you're like, oh, this next day at work's gonna suck. My last one, I don't judge. Secretly, I am judging.
Yeah, you're always judging. Everyone's judging. Not you specifically, but yeah.
I am a judgmental Judy, as they want to say, and I'll judge up and down. I mean, Maria, I've mentioned her a few times. If you wear Crocs around me, you're getting made fun of. And there are many other things that I could go into. That'll be another pod, but I don't judge. That's my last one.
There you go. And that's the lies that we tell ourselves. Hopefully you guys can relate to them on that. So, any closing comments for the pod?
Do we have any idea what number this was? I don't think we mentioned what number this was.
67.
Oh, yeah. Number 67. Let me just go ahead and write that down. 62 more away from ye old famous 69.
Nice.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah, well, we're going to end on that one.
We'll see you next week.